Hi everybody, welcome to week 7 of our English 1020 online course. This week we are continuing on researching for our iSearch project. And in this video I want to talk to you a little bit about the week's activities. I want to point out some cool videos that we have coming at you. And I do want to talk with you guys about how the iSearch is going, do a little bit of maintenance just to sort of explain once again what our stance should be toward our research and our writing in this project. Okay, so let me get our Canvas site pulled up and we'll get at it. Okay, so let's scroll down here all the way to week 7. And I'm going to pull up the week 7 activities page and talk us through some of the work we're going to be doing this week. So last week you guys drafted and exchanged some feedback on your intros for your iSearch papers. So we're off to a good start. This week you're going to be working on writing up one of your sources. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But as you can see, we're kind of taking our time building this project. So here we are this week in week 7. We're continuing our inquiry process for the iSearch. We're going to keep working on finding, evaluating, and writing up our scholarly sources. And as you can see here, I almost started watching a video while making this video, which would have been really meta of me. But actually, this is a good way to highlight here that we do have a mini lesson specifically geared towards citations. And not just citations, but how to integrate quotes and paraphrases from other sources into our own writing. So even if you feel particularly strong on MLA citations, I would give it a watch through because I lay out here some of the expectations that I'll have when I'm reading your iSearch and your researched argument later on for how you should be integrating or sandwiching your outside sources into your own writing. Now, if you don't feel particularly confident with MLA, great. Watch this video and you'll get a nice overview of some of the basics that will help you get situated. So definitely want to watch this. Of course, you're going to watch the week 7 instructor video, which you're already doing. So high five, good job. And I have a really interesting little vid posted this week as well that's talking through reading strategies for scholarly articles in particular. So check that out. This week, you're basically just reading scholarly sources of your choice. Keep researching, keep gathering sources for this iSearch paper and noticing what you do when you gather those sources. I'm going to talk through this write-up in just a minute, but there is a sample here of the project builder that we're working on this week. So you can take a look at what somebody else has done and kind of see what's working and what's not working in their write-up. The other thing that I'd like you guys to read this week is this great piece called Revising by Reading Aloud. And you will need this reading to do your DJ this week. Your digital journal is going to be basically based on this reading. So it's a little bit different of a DJ this week. We're not just reflecting and responding so much as you're going to read this and use what's in it to help you do some of your own revisions. Also, by the end of the week, I'd like you guys to give each other some feedback in a discussion thread for your write-ups, which when we're all said and done and when everything's been revised, I hope that you'll have a nice little chunk to go in your iSearch paper. Okay, so in terms of writing, once again, you're going to be doing a project builder to write up what's in and how you found one of your sources. You're going to do DJ number 7, which is called a tuning in journal. So you're going to be reading aloud using the stuff from that article we talked about and using it to help you revise. And then by the end of the week, I hope that everyone has a shitty first draft of Project 2. So there's a lot going on this week, but I think we got off to a good start last week, so I'll show you what it looks like here on the calendar. I'm hoping that by tomorrow, Wednesday, you guys will have had a chance to watch this video, to keep looking at your scholarly sources, maybe pick one or two that you want to use for the write-up. And that's what I'd like you guys to be working on first. Just write up the summary, the main point, the evidence, analysis, and a link back to your own question for your write-up. We'll look at the sample in a second. For Friday, I want you to aim to watch the MLA mini lesson, read Revising by Reading Aloud, and if you can, find some classmates' source write-ups to look at, because I'm asking you guys to have your project builder posted by Friday. Now, once again, it's not formally due until Sunday. I know in Canvas it says Friday and it might flag it as late if you do it like on Saturday, but please know that I know that it's not formally due until Sunday. So just kind of pay attention. The reason I made it due on Friday was so that everyone would have time to give and receive feedback before you need to actually use your write-up to put in your shitty first draft. So on Sunday, definitely watch that little vid to help you with reading, or before that. I mean, hey, however it works for you. You definitely want to have all your comments and all your revisions completed by Sunday, because you want to put together shitty first draft of Project 2 for Sunday. So let's take a look at this sample write-up and we'll kind of talk through it, and then we'll come to some conclusions about it. As soon as it downloads. There we go. Okay. So one of the things to see in this write-up is that it really is, in all senses, a narrative, meaning you can see that this student is using the pronoun I almost entirely throughout. And that's okay for the iSearch paper. This is a genre, a type of writing that really asks you to reflect on your own research process. So more interesting than what the sources say, even though you do want to make sure you can summarize that pretty accurately, more interesting than that is how you are going about your research. For sure, you're using secondary research practices. They may be super new to you, and so maybe you're trying out some of these methods for the first time. Maybe you're using Google Scholar for the first time. Maybe you're using the library databases for the first time. Maybe you're watching some of these videos and the content is brand new to you. Great. Talk about how that is working out in your process. What does it feel like to try some of this stuff? Now, maybe on the flip side of that, you're like, Nicole, I've been researching since 4th grade. I can't even think about how much I have to research. This is the moment for you to take the knowledge that's in your brain that you just do kind of automatically. Maybe you take it for granted. This is the time to make it explicit. Write out, articulate what it is you do. Do you use a particular search engine or database? How do you decide if an article is a good article or not? That's huge. I want everyone to be writing on that question. How do you decide? What are the things that you look for? So let's look here again at this, and before I get off on a tangent, right? We notice that the writer here is using I. And this is one article, okay? So they're going to introduce the article. The article is titled The Geography of Detroit's Decline. It is written by Ping Zhu. Now, when you are introducing an author, when you're writing a scholarly piece, you always use either the full name, first name and last name, or just the last name. Please don't nobody write about how Ping is their best friend, because you don't know Ping. You don't know these people. They're not your best friend unless they literally are, in which case you probably want to mention that. But as a term of respect, we use last names only if we're going to single it down to a single name, or we use the full name in academic writing. Okay, so this student talks about clicking around using Google Scholar, the databases, finding an article was like a breath of fresh air. You can talk about your feelings here. That's probably even going to be helpful to you. This writer is talking too about keywords and how synonyms helped sort of finagle the keywords until they got the article that they were looking for. So all of this first whole paragraph is sort of the how I found it paragraph. You want to get this detailed. Then the writer goes into more of a summary, gives us a little bit of information on the author, and then kind of dives into what the article is about. Not just the argument that the author is making, but though certainly that is there, but there are some really specific examples to the types of evidence the author is using, right? So we might remember this from Project 1 and say, oh yes, look, there's lots of numbers here and statistics. Perhaps this author is using a lot of logos, but also perhaps some of these statistics are heavily weighted in terms of evidence, like, oh, is this accurate information? If it is, that could be really useful evidence. And then there's still some more I. There's a little bit of response, a little bit of analysis, and linking back to this writer's main question, which has to do with the decline of Detroit's infrastructure. So as you can see here, we've got, a little over 550 words, and you just want to go through your finding process, your evaluating process. You want to summarize the article, talk about the key points of evidence, and analyze whether or not it's going to be useful for you in your search. Okay. So let me pull this back and we can kind of bring this to a close. Okay, so I think that about does it for this week. Check out those videos that are posted, and of course this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email. Hit up Rayanne on the GroupMe. Stop by her office hours. Stop by my office hours. The main thing that I hope everyone's kind of getting from this assignment is that we're really trying to dig into our own research processes. Maybe we didn't have any before this class, and right now we're starting to just develop what they are. Maybe we used research strategies all the time, but we didn't know what to call them or know that we were even doing them kind of on an instinctive level. Either way, being explicit about articulating your research process can not only help you in this class, as we're going to move after this project right into a really formal academic research project, but I hope that you can take the knowledge that you've gained in this project into the rest of your classes at Wayne State. This is knowledge that once you make it really clear and you make it concrete, you can now take it with you. You can dismantle it, take little pieces of it with you into other classes, into your major, into your career. So this is a really awesome and super beneficial project. I hope that you guys have as much fun with it as I do when I read them. If you have any questions, once again, hit up Rayanne, and I hope that you guys have a great rest of your week. All right. I'll see you later.